Hi, Erin. How are you doing?
Oh my God, you came in like a normal person. I'm so proud of you.
I'm really trying to make you laugh or be surprised, but I'm still going to make you mad by doing weird things. The one thing I loved the most was the chair slide, which you hated.
So dumb. Well, here's the deal. If you're going to do all these fancy things, I wish we could find you like a fancy room or like good lighting or just like something. And then you can bring in all the acrobats, right? Like we're still dealing with some rough lighting right here.
Yeah. You know, it's, the camera adds 20 pounds and this light, just can't get rid of it. But, it gets worse no matter what. But, who's having a great day? Bestway International and Evardy Construction. What about you, Erin? Are you having a good day? How's your week going?
I'm having a wonderful day. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good, but I'm focused. You know me, I focus on like when someone looks different. Now, what did you do with your hair? Is it darker?
Yeah, but you've seen me since it's been darker.
I did see you. You're dressed up very lovely. We had our KC can auction, Forrest Gump theme. You looked beautiful. Your hair looked beautiful. It's very curled and done up. So I just always get excited when people change their look. It's getting ready for the fall.
Yeah, this is my fall look. So my blonde had to go away and just changing it. I also had a birthday. So right. I feel like you spiral a little bit at my age. So you just try to do things that feel like maybe you're not as old.
Yeah, I always feel like, I wonder what the audience thinks, but I always feel like your birthday, as you get older, you kind of don't want to party that hard because you want to feel good. It's almost like a New Year's Eve for yourself. What do you think?
I stayed out till 4 a.m.
That's awesome.
You know what the best part was? My daughter had to be in the River Market by 8:30 for a dance performance. So it turns out at the ripe old age of 45, that's rough. And we went on Friday night. So I had a Friday, Saturday dance performance. So yeah, I'm not sure I have that same desire as you do, but I did get my drinks bought by me all night by a 27-year-old. So my self-esteem and my confidence right.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. Did you take like a weird shot that you have never even heard of, like a Vegas bomb?
I have heard of a Vegas bomb. I did not take one, but I did do some shot. I don't know who I really thought I was. I'm going to be honest with you. It's Tuesday and I'm finally feeling like I recovered, but it is harder when you're older.
Yeah. You get like I call it the Sunday or Monday morning blues. But yeah, as you get older, if you're hungover into Monday, it's like, woo.
Had more like, I need to do my water and my supplements and kind of some of that. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. Okay, nobody cares. Can we bring in our guests?
Absolutely. Just a little plug for Bestway International. They have a lot of action going on. Unfortunately, when you have things like natural disasters, which are horrible, and then you have the ports starting to close, we really rely on companies like Bestway International to transport everything. So I know they're super busy and moving a lot of stuff.
Yes. Wait, were the Evardy guys at the gala or auction? I didn't see them.
They were a sponsor. They were there in spirit, but their Forrest Gump costumes, they just wear every day on every site that they're building. So, they're ready to go.
There were so many people I didn't see until I saw the pictures, so I just don't know who was there. So, okay, cool. Well, let's bring in your favorite music. Okay, here we go. We have 2 of your buddies today. So
yeah, what if the 27-year-old wanted to listen to this music?
I'm not going to ever talk to that 27-year-old again. It was a one-time thing. Okay. We have 2 guests, guys. Today we've got Nate and Tyler. I love it. so excited to have you. Let's just jump right into it real quick before we get to this. If you are watching, let us know if you're watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. Are you watching live or are you watching the replay? All right, let's get going. Nate, who are you? What are you doing? How do you get to Kansas City?
What's going on, everyone? Scott, great to see you. Aaron, great to see you as well. Scott, I was nervous on how to enter the chat, so you have big expectations. You set the bar high. But Nate Peterson with Jayhawk Sports Properties in Learfield here at KU and on the KU athletics side. So happy to be here.
So Nate, give us your trajectory of undergrad and your professional career of how you landed at KU.
Yeah, so I grew actually a funny story. I don't have deep KU ties. My wife does. She is a KU alum, but grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, went to the University of Oklahoma, and afterwards I was like, I want to spread my wings. I want to see how far I can go, and fell in love with Kansas City. It gave me the big city feel, but also the community of all the small areas around Kansas City, and I've been here since 2011 and haven't looked back and consider Kansas City home. And with all of the amazing things happening here at KU, it was hard not to be a part of it and join the crew up here. So a lot of amazing things happening at KU and excited for the future.
So what exactly, when Jayhawk Properties, what all does that include? What all does your job include?
Yeah, so we hold like the multimedia rights for basically all of Kansas athletics. So if your company wanted to be associated with a specific sport, basketball, football, our incredible women's volleyball team, Jayhawk Sports Properties in Learfield have the opportunity to help you, guide you through those opportunities and see what are the best fits for your company and how you get involved.
What about the rowing team?
There's rowing team. You can get involved with rowing. You can do it all. Soccer. It's get involved with the Olympic sports. So it's just a lot of great opportunities. And with Kansas City being so close to Lawrence, there's some amazing opportunities.
So what has that looked like this year now that the football team has been playing in Kansas City versus Lawrence?
Yeah, so we were displaced this year, but for a great reason. We've got a reimagined world-class football stadium opening up next year, but got to play a couple games at Children's Mercy Park, which was a spectacular atmosphere for students. It was a packed house, and now we've got our games at Arrowhead, and we've been graciously, welcomed by both entities. But it's another way for the Kansas City market to come see some football games and be at Arrowhead. So great atmosphere. It's been wonderful so far.
Now, for the audience doesn't know, Erin was a D1 athlete on the rowing team. That is why she asked the question. Nate, real quick, with 10 seconds left, what's been your favorite part of the job so far? What's been your favorite part of the job?
I think just getting involved in collegiate sports. Yeah, getting involved with collegiate sports, coming from my professional stint with Sporting Kansas City, and just having the opportunity to see sports across the board. So it's been awesome.
Oh, that's cool. We'll have to talk about your Sporting Kansas City stuff in a little bit. I didn't know that's where you came from. Well, we are so glad you're here, and we're so glad you are converting to a KU guy from all those other schools. So at least you're not a KU guy. All right, Tyler, who are you? What are you doing? How do you get to Kansas City?
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me on. I'm Tyler Jansen. I am an attorney at Kelly, Reed & Jansen, my own firm with two partners. We're out in downtown Lee's Summit. I've been in Kansas City for 20 years now. Came down in 2004 for undergrad. I was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska. Went to Rockhurst University for undergrad. Looked around at law schools elsewhere, back home in Nebraska and Chicago, other places, but ultimately fell in love with KC. Ended up staying here, went to UMKC, and here I am.
Tyler, super cool connection to the show. I think you know someone that's our boss. What is your connection to this show?
So my wife actually works for Evardy Construction. And through her, I've got to know all those guys. Amazing group of people, amazing company.
We love them.
So Tyler, you and Evardy Construction both surround yourself with a bunch of amazing people. What is it about you or Evardy that makes you also likable?
Well, I'm not sure I can speak for myself on that, but I know with the Evardy guys, especially, and it's something we try and do here at our firm as well, is really treat the workplace, whether it be my partners or our employees here. Again, I know the Evardys treat it the same way, more like a family. Really try to look out for each other, and again, treat everyone as a loved one, as family, because we're all in it together. Hopefully, all pulling the same way.
I have a question. I'm always so interested in this. When you decided to go into your firm with partners, how did you guys decide whose names went in what order? Because it's not alphabetized.
Good question.
So I'm actually the young one here. I got brought on about it's been about 10 years ago now, as an associate. So these guys were already together as partners, and eventually, my name got added to the door. But it is last on there.
Yeah, I was like, it's not alphabetical. It's always interesting to me who people.
Yeah.
I'm in marketing, so I always like to try to figure that out. So awesome. All right, Scott, are you ready for your portion of the show?
I interrupted you last question, Aaron, so you got to steal one of my questions. I had to pump Evardy. But Nate, what is the most pivotal point in your career?
I would probably say, Aaron, this can bring up the question you had. Probably going to work for Sporting Kansas City thus far. An incredible local ownership group that had a mission to make Kansas City the soccer capital of America. And, when I was at Sporting, there was talks about us putting a bid in for the 2026 World Cup. And we had an army of people contributing to that. And look where we're at now. We're, 6 games and a quarterfinal in Kansas City. It's going to be remarkable for the city. So to be able to work for a group that had a local ownership group that was committed to Kansas City, that was supporting Kansas City, was at the games, and, building an organization that you felt like we're seeing, sometimes when you're in professional sports, you're kind of a number on an Excel sheet, but not that case at Sporting Kansas City, and got to meet some wonderful people, work with some amazing clients. And it helps too that I met my wife there and now have a 3-year-old son. So it was pretty impactful in my life. So I've nothing but respect for the Sporting KC crew and what they've built over the last decade.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Were you a soccer guy before you went to Sporting KC?
I was not a soccer guy. And I think it goes back to Scott, asking me, does it help? I'm not a KU grad when I'm talking with businesses. I was a football guy. I mean, growing up in Norman, Oklahoma, it was football, right? I think all of us on this call didn't grow up going to soccer with mom or dad, right? It was baseball or football. And that was the challenge that they had to overcome, was just growing that sport. I mean, it's still an adolescent, right? It's only 27 years old or 28 years old as a league. So you had to build a wonderful fan experience. And if you've been out to a sporting game, there's nothing better, right? And if you did that right, you were hopes that you kept coming back for more and more games. But Aaron, I was not. I was a football guy for sure. But the minute you go to a game, you kind of get hooked because of what they're doing at that organization.
Yeah, same with me. Every time I go there, I'm like, I love soccer, but I didn't grow up with it.
I feel like you're going to have your fingerprints on things that happen at the University of Kansas with a sporting experience, but what do you have your fingerprints on that maybe Aaron experienced at the Sporting Kansas City game that we may not realize?
Yeah, I think, now with, what they're doing to, Memorial Stadium is what every stadium has to do, right? It's elevating that fan experience, right? It's, what Taylor Swift has done to sports is now you're going to get a lot more opportunity fans coming to your stadium, and how are you wowing them, right? How are you getting them to come back? So I think opening up a stadium like we're doing with Memorial doesn't happen every day. So you get one shot at to really introduce a stadium like this. So just focusing on that fan experience and how, communities and partners can get involved.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to watch. All right. You ready, Scott?
Erin felt like she's going to be Taylor Swift at the KU game. Tyler, what is the most pivotal part of your career?
Yeah, for me, I already talked about it a little, but I would say joining up with this firm that I'm at now. When I was first practicing, I was at another small firm over in Kansas, and there wasn't going to be much room for growth for me there. I knew that going in, but it did offer me the chance to get some experience. And I had a case actually with David Kelly, my now law partner, and he, during the course of that case, we were working together, apparently saw something in me and poached me from that firm about 10 years ago. And, in him, I saw someone who, I guess my opinion on it's a little biased, but I think he's one of the best attorneys in this area. Someone that I could learn from, someone who could be a mentor to me. And he still is, even though now we're now partners. But that decision by him to extend that offer to me and me accepting that offer definitely changed the course of my career.
Sounds like you surround yourself with a lot of great people. Deep question. Was there anything your mom and dad did that made you maybe act a certain way or be a certain way to want to surround yourself with good people?
I think my parents were always very positive influences on me. There was definitely a priority on hanging around the right kind of people. So yeah, surrounding yourself with positive influences is I suppose been something that's been instilled in me from an early age. So I think it's very important to always be trying to learn from the people around you, and in order to have the best opportunity to do that, you want to be around people who know what they're doing, who are successful, obviously. So, yeah.
One good question. You're a family law attorney. The divorce rate has gone majorly up in the past 5 years. What's the number one thing people need to do before they get married? Don't do it. Just don't get married.
I would say, be very sure that you're with the right person and doing it for the right reasons. I think a lot of people jump into that without a full appreciation of how it can really complicate things if it's not going to work out.
You got a lot of job security over there, sir. All right. Okay, first of all, how is it October 15th? This is wild.
No clue.
Right. So, Nate, my question to you is, how are your 2024 goals going now that we're almost at the end? And how can the Kansas City community help you get to those goals and next year's goals?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I blink and I'm like, holy cow, it's October and I have a 3-year-old. Where does time go? But I think goals are going great. I mean, it's, I joined the Jayhawk Sports Properties a little over 2 months ago, and it was an opportunity that, I didn't have as a goal for 2024, but when an opportunity comes knocking and you get to be involved with a university like KU, it's hard to say no. And I think how can people help support? I mean, as we're trucking along and we've got late night at the Fog happening this Friday. We've got a football game on Saturday. Our women's volleyball team has only lost one game, and then we're going to open up a brand new stadium. So I think just people getting up here and supporting. I think, if your business or you personally as a fan want to get involved somehow, some way, do it, right? There's so many incredible things happening up here. We set another incoming freshman record, and that's the one thing I've learned, Aaron, coming from the professional sports to collegiate sports, is you have a brand new fan base every year, right? And that means you've got 5,000 plus freshman students that have parents, aunts and uncles and grandparents who are going to support the university in different ways. And so goals are going great. I mean, I think we're all looking forward to opening up the basketball season because Allen Fieldhouse was revamped, and that's been a long time coming as well. And just getting the opportunity to support these college athletes now with name, image, and likeness being a big deal. And how can we just support these student athletes who are doing some incredible things and help them? It's become influencer marketing for us, which has been great because so many people are passionate about, their alma mater or, the local college sports that they can get involved in a ton of different ways. And I think just educating businesses and individuals has been a challenge, but it's been great to just continue to talk about it.
So do you get pretty involved in the NIL deals? Yeah,
we do. So we get to treat those as, basically what we say is really great brand ambassadors. How can we get them to be an incredible voice for your company? And there's many, many different ways to get involved now that the restrictions have been lifted, and these players who have incredible name, image, and likeness can now take advantage of it to set them up for future success.
How do they get paid?
A couple different ways. So we have a collective here, Mass Street Collective, who has the relationships there. But, if, let's say, Evardy wanted to get involved, Scott, and have, a player be kind of the brand ambassador for him, use them for commercials and radio and things like that, we can kind of help organize those conversations and make sure we're finding the right fits for an athlete who may be going into that field of, maybe they're going in through construction or whatever it may be. So, and then it's negotiated based on what involvement they're going to be. So if they're going to be doing commercial shoots and radio shoots and things like that, the payments vary, but they can get involved in many different ways. It's been awesome to see.
But do they still, I'm sorry, I know your time's over. I just have a quick question, but do you guys work with their management or their agent as well? Or do they?
Yeah.
I don't know if it depends by school to school.
We go through Mass Street Collective a ton because they have direct relationships with them, and that's their main job, is just determine how they're going to help support these student athletes. But, KJ Adams, things like that, who are big stars, they're going to go to the NBA, have agents that we then collaborate with as well. We have to be cautious of their time. We have to make sure that we're doing things that's not affecting their number one job is, one, go to school, number two, play sports, and then number three, kind of build their future. So yeah, we negotiate with all different parties.
The NIL stuff is just such a game changer.
It is.
So
you could have made a lot of money during rowing, Aaron, if it was.
Listen, first of all, Nate, had I been grown up in the media world of actual influencers back then, I don't think there would have been a bigger one than me.
That's right. I mean, you did influencer marketing anyways. You just didn't do it through rowing.
I have grown a LinkedIn following based on my 15-year-old abilities. So listen, you don't even know. All right, Tyler, how are your 2024 goals going, and how can the Kansas City community help you?
They've been going pretty well. Little over a year ago, we had a pretty significant change in the firm. There actually used to be 4 of us as partners, and one guy decided to strike out on his own. And so that left, a lot of uncertainty for the three of us remaining, and all of us have had to work pretty hard to pick up the slack and keep this thing going, and we've been very successful at doing that. So that's been the main goal for us this year, is to keep this going as a going concern, essentially. But the goals are expand the practice, whether that's my own practice as an individual or firm wide, and we've been pretty successful at doing that this year. As far as how people can help, as you pointed out, there is some pretty good job security in some of the work that we do. But I would encourage anyone who's listening or watching, if you have any questions about anything, don't be afraid to reach out to me or another attorney who may have some insight into how those things work, or how you could be helped in those situations. We offer no cost consultations, so you can actually have that initial conversation, at least for free, and get some advice that way.
Tyler, sorry, Aaron. One thing so I've learned a lot about law firms through Lily and James Creative, Aaron's company, because she helps a lot of people with that. How do people find your organization? Is it mainly referrals, or how do they come across your business?
Yeah, so we get a lot of referrals. That's a big piece of it. We do a fair amount of online advertising, SEO type stuff. That's above my pay grade. I don't really know how that all works, but I do know if you Google, attorneys in this area, we pop up in the results. So we get a decent amount of hits that way. But we are a general practice firm. We try to be a one-stop shop for people. If there's a situation that we either don't handle or can't handle, we'll get people to the right spot. But since we do handle a lot of that stuff, most of the stuff that people need help with, we do get a lot of referrals, a lot of repeat clients that way.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. If you want to connect with Tyler or Nate, you can connect right here on LinkedIn. If you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, just come over on LinkedIn and you can find these guys. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Thank you to our panel. And thank you, Scott, for being the best co-host ever. We're going to work on your lighting.
I need Tyler's significant other, Rachel, who's our boss. I think Evardy needs to help build it, so we'll be fine.
Rachel. Okay, I see Rachel in the emails. So awesome! All right, so great seeing everyone. We'll see you same time.
Thanks all. See you.
Bye.
Thank you.